If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson cries for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into Simply the Law. See, I'm Keith Casebold. This is my friend Gary C. Johnson, but he gets me tickled right before the show because he asks me questions, and he knows I'll tell the truth. And the truth is never in my favor when he asks these questions. So that's why we're laughing. So welcome to the program, Simply the Law.
My good friends, how are you? What a wonderful week we've just had, right? It has been a good week, right? Of course it has. You made it through it. You're here. Have a good dinner? Huh? Of course you did. Did you thank whoever fixed it for you? Huh? Did you say, oh, goody, 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 boy, this is wonderful? Did you say, boy, this isn't very good? If you did, shame on you. Anybody that fixes you food and you ever say, this doesn't taste good, you should be ashamed.
Now, you see, I gotta jump in on you here because not long ago, I came to Gary and I said, I'm learning, Coach, listen. I went to lunch. Lunch was really good, and I told the waitress, thank you so much, and please tell the cook, thank you for this wonderful lunch. And without cracking a smile, he said, so what did you say to the wife last night for dinner? I said, I don't think I said anything. And you pointed that out to me that here I thought I was doing good, but I went to the house and had dinner and didn't say anything.
That's right. The very one that you would 100% be thanking, right? He did, boop. Why do we do that, folks? Let's do a little self-analysis here. Why do we not show honest and sincere appreciation to the people that are the closest to us? Huh? Do we take them for granted? Is that why? We just assume they'll be there for us? We're used to it. It's like a old shoe that's always been there for us to wear. Why is it that we do that? My friends, I strongly recommend that we do a little self-analysis, right, Keith?
I'm 100% in favor because you are spot on. We forget to tell our children. We forget to tell our grandparents, our parents, our wives, our friends. Oh, and we forget to tell our coworkers. I've even heard some people that own companies say, well, that's their job. Why should I thank them? Why shouldn't you thank them?
My friends, I want to thank you for watching this program.
Absolutely.
From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you. Because there would be really no use for me to have the program and me and Keith to be here if you wouldn't be willing to sit and watch it. I hope and pray deep in my heart that you get something out of it to make it worth your while for doing so. And if I can just reach down in that screen and touch your heart just a little bit to make you understand how important it is to be thankful and grateful for the things that others do for you, even the least little thing. Because I promise you, you will be the one that benefits from that. You will feel so much better, and you will have much more enlightened life if you become aware and don't assume and take for granted the people that are the closest to you and the things they've always done for you. They always cook for you, right? They've always cooked for you. So you just assume you go in and sit down and eat. Well, duh. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this wonderful food I'm having here. What's wrong with saying that? Well, they've always taken the garbage out. Duh. Thank you for coming in here and getting this garbage and taking it out. Or doing the laundry. Or whatever it is.
Here's another one. My father always calls to check on me every day. And he said, I hope I'm not bothering you. I said, absolutely not. I love it. He said, well, I'm glad you feel that way because someday in your life, you'll miss having someone to call and check on you. And when he said that, Gary, that was so true. Even a friend or a relative that's taking the time to call and say, hey, I just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing. Vitally important.
It is. And again, it's coming back to the program we did where we were talking about you need an advocate in life. You need someone that's there for you. You need to be there for someone. And that's what makes it go around, and how badly we need each other. And we can't be happy if we don't have each other. But guess what? We can be really happy if we do. We can smile and we can joke and we can carry on and we can have fun if we have each other. And the greatest sight in the world means nothing if you have no one to share it with and point it out to. It means nothing.
Isn't that the truth?
It's a fact.
Anyone that has ever had to travel on business or whatever, and you've had to go by yourself, how much enjoyment was it when you saw the ocean or the sky or the mountain and you looked around and you didn't have your spouse, your friend, your buddy, your kids, or someone with you to where you could go, boy, that really looks nice.
You grab your phone, take a picture, show it, send it to somebody if nothing else. But you will want to share it with someone. That's just the way it is. It's life. We need each other. And if you don't get anything else out of this program ever, understand how bad we need each other. We're all on this rock together. And we're all together in it. And we need each other. We need each other for safety. We need each other for companionship. We need each other for survival. We need to appreciate each other. We need each other. Let's take a break and we'll come back.
Thank you so much. I'm like Gary. I mean, I will tell you this much. I told Gary if he ever decided not to do the television show or the radio show anymore, I'd have to come to his house twice a week just to visit. And he said, don't worry, I'll keep doing it. Stay with us. Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson is coming back right after you see this.
I'm attorney Gary C. Johnson. I hate these commercials as bad as you do. I have no choice if I want to let you know that I'm in the business of practicing law, representing injured people, except to do this commercial. I don't fish, I don't golf, I get money for injured people. Check my record, go to GaryCJohnson.com, and I'll bet you if you've been hurt, you might want to give me a call.
Welcome back to Simply the Law. I loved the opening that you just did because you're absolutely right. When you said if you're by yourself, you want to take a picture and send it to somebody, we need to have friendships. We need to have company. We need to have interaction with people. We were not made to be alone.
Nope. So, if you have someone with you, let them know. It's that simple. If you're mad at them, get over it. If you're pouting around, get over it. Okay? And if you got a lot of imagined slights that they've done to you, ask them about them. You'll be amazed at how many of them are imagined. Okay? Nobody can ever deal with the imagined slights because they don't know what they are. That comes with making assumptions. That's why in the 4 agreements it says never assume anything. Somebody does something and you will assume, well, they meant this, they meant that, they meant this. And they don't mean that. They didn't even think about it. But you put all of these things into it. And you get madder and madder and madder and madder. When all you have to do is ask them.
You know, I cornered Gary one time when we were doing radio, and I said, come on, tell me the truth. Somebody's had to say or do something that's hurt your feelings. And he said, yep. I said, who was it and what was it? He said, I can't remember. He said, but I'm sure they did. I just don't know what it was or who it was. And you actually, that's what you do. You move on. Whatever it is, you let go of it.
It's the truth. I can't remember being mad at anyone because I forget. Deliberately forget. Because I don't want to waste part of my dash harboring ill will because it doesn't make me feel good. I want to waste my dash on stuff that makes me feel good. So I deliberately forget if somebody's tried to do something to me or hurt my feelings or whatever. I just forget it. I don't care. It's not worthy. It's not worth it to me, I guess is the point. And guess what, folks? Try it. You'll be amazed how easy it is. You'll be amazed how easy it is to say, I don't care what they do or what they think.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed how easy it is.
Well, and I think one time you explained it to me. You said, Keith, I don't have room to store those thoughts because I'm too busy putting in happy thoughts.
I'm too busy trying to live. I'm too busy trying to have happy thoughts. I'm too busy trying to think about my friends. I'm too busy trying to think, well, what am I going to say to my good buddies here? How can we be happy? How can we have happy thoughts? Huh? How can we enjoy our life? I mean, really and truly. That's what matters. Let's go to the computer for just a minute. And again, so you folks will know, I have an office in Lexington now. It's right off of the interstate in Man of War. In case any of you are in Lexington and want to come by and visit us, it's on Executive Drive.
Hey, and let me make a point about this because the worst feeling in the world is to be away from home and have something happen to you and feel like you're all alone and what in the world are you going to do? You've traveled 2.5 hours away from Eastern Kentucky. Now you've been in a wreck. You're in an unfamiliar area. They're taking you to unfamiliar places or a hospital, and you're sitting there absolutely terrified. Who do I call? What do I do? This is vitally important that you're located there.
Well, I can say it happened to a bunch of my people and friends down there and people I know. That's why I put an office in. I've got full staff. Any of you need us? We have a Lexington office now, okay? There's our local number here in Eastern Kentucky if you need to call us. There's our webpage. In general, please make sure you get your underinsurance. Arbitration, don't sign those hospital and nursing home. Don't sign them. Releases. I'll talk to you about releases in a car wreck. If you signed a form release for an insurance company without having someone look at it, you may release everyone that is responsible. Do not sign a release without full knowledge of what you are signing.
Okay, here's where I'm going to have to step in because I'm sure our friends know what you're talking about. But a form release, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, is this to get the process started? Is this saying I'm allowing you?
No, I'm talking about they bring you a check for your car.
Oh.
And say, we're going to pay you for your car. You need to make sure that when you sign that release, that that's what it says. That it's for the car and the car only, that it's not for bodily injury or anything else. There may be more than one person that caused the wreck. Let's say you've settled with this carrier for your bodily injury. Say they had $25,000 coverage, and they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and pay it to you for your bodily injury. You say, well, and they'll say, we'll pay it to you without a lawyer. That's fine and dandy. But two different people caused the wreck. That release you sign, you need to make absolutely certain that it only releases the person that's paying you the money. That it's not broad enough to release the other person that may have also caused you harm also.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. In other words, if you're going to sign a release, know what you're signing. That's the point I'm making.
You know, I find that interesting that that release would come with a check, because all of a sudden you see a check here, you're thinking good thoughts, then you put your signature down and you find out you may have released the person who did the most damage.
Right. So just be careful. Read it. Most of you are plenty intelligent enough to understand, I think, what you're reading. But don't just say, pew, 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 because there's a check in front of you. Read it. If it's that broad, they probably won't have any problem changing it because it's their standard release. It's a form release.
Yeah, but you know, Gary, we were working on a little project the other day, something really simple, just on a phone number. And I'm looking at a contract, and honest to goodness, and I'm not saying I can't read and I'm not bright, but I could not understand some of the things that you so easily pointed out to me. You said, Keith, look at this, look at this, look at this. And these were glaring mistakes to you that even though I read it, it didn't pop out to me.
Well, I had to go to law school for a long time, Keith. Let's take a break and come right back.
I guess what he's trying to tell you, there's certain cases where you need an attorney because they know what the language means. And I found that out real quickly. Stay with us. Gary C. Johnson in the program Simply the Law comes back right after you see this.
Insurance companies will test lawyers to see if they know what they're doing. Luckily, they tested me. And because of that, over the years, I've been able to get verdicts for my clients in excess of $315 million in the state of Kentucky, most of which are just in eastern Kentucky. We proved we know what we're doing. We proved we can go in front of a jury. And guess what? Most of my cases settle now. Wonder why? Give us a call.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. When we ended that last segment, I brought that point up about the little document only because I want everybody to know I don't know that language. More than likely, your brother-in-law or your neighbor or the person sitting at the other desk across from you, they probably don't know that language either. So if you've got a question and you don't know the answer, you better get somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Legal documents can be extremely confusing, even to attorneys that aren't well versed in that particular field. I saw a document the other day that this person brought to me, and it's totally out of my field. And I looked at it, and this person was asking my advice on it, and he was telling me what this other attorney was telling him about it. And it took me about 2 minutes to read the document to realize that other attorney was definitely out of his field that was telling him about it. So I got on the phone and I called an attorney it was in his field. And I asked him if he would talk to this fellow and look at this, because my interpretation of what I thought the document said and what this other attorney was telling him the document said was completely different. And I felt like he really needed a person that specialized, that really dealt with that type of thing every day. Because let me tell you about law, since we're on this. Law has become so complicated that you literally have to focus down into one little area. And that little area that you think you're focusing on is a mountain of information. It's like, let's say, just take personal injury law. It is absolutely a mountain of different nuances of insurance. You have to know insurance law, you have to know product liability law, you have to know medical negligence, you have to be a doctor, you have to be an engineer. It is really, really extremely complicated. All of the things that involve, you have to almost be a doctor. You have to know just about as much as a doctor when it comes to personal injury, especially injuries themselves. Now, does that mean that you can go out here, if you're in this mountain of personal injury law, and say, okay, well, I'm gonna go represent somebody in a complicated divorce? No way. No way. You talk about being up to here and, right quick, because it's too complicated. Or some complex litigation and some complex business litigation that involves all kinds of complex accounting and things of that nature. There's no way you can do it because there's not enough hours in a day for any one attorney, in my opinion, to learn those things. If you're going to hire a lawyer, hire one that does the thing that you need done. That's what they do. If you want somebody to do a bankruptcy, go to somebody that's what they do. They do bankruptcies. If you want somebody to do a divorce, go to someone that says, yes, that's what I do divorces. If I do criminal law, yes, I represent people that have been charged with crimes. But any lawyer that holds themselves out, in my opinion, that they can do it all, they may be smart enough to do it. But I can tell you right now, I'm not.
Gary,
let's take a break and we'll come right back.
He made such a great point because I can tell you over the years, the example he just gave you, there's been so many calls, and Gary has said just that to the individuals. I spend all of my time, 100% personal injury. Here's somebody that spends their time doing what you're asking about. Stay with us. Gary C. Johnson, right after this break.
You notice on the legal advertisement of lawyers that they've made verdicts an issue? Well, guess what? This old boy from Eastern Kentucky's got the largest verdict in the state of Kentucky, and nobody's even come close to it. Over my career, I've got my client verdicts of over $315 million. Yep, I'm glad they made verdicts an issue. Check my record and I'll bet you decide it might be wise to give old Gary a call.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. You made such a great point as we were going to break, because I was sitting here as the example. We would never go to a doctor that says, oh, I can do it all. Surgery, oh, you want brain surgery, heart surgery, whatever, I'll do everything. We would never think of that.
You wouldn't dream to go to a brain surgeon to get your heart surgery. You just wouldn't do it. You would know better.
Yes.
Your instincts would say, nah, this doesn't seem right. Law has become that complicated. Now, probably 50 years ago, 40 years ago, it probably wasn't. Actually, when I started practicing law, it wasn't that complicated.
Gary, is the biggest misperception that the client knows you're going to do everything in your power to help them, but maybe they don't understand that the insurance company is going to do everything in their power to keep them from getting the damages?
Insurance companies are going to do everything in their power, and they're going to hire the best lawyers they can possibly hire to protect their money. Insurance companies have stockholders that they have to be accountable to. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway owns Geico. Do you think that they don't look at the bottom line on the balance sheet to see if they're making a profit? Do you think they're going to go out and pay a bunch of claims without trying to protect that money? I'm just giving you an example. Do you think that these good hands people are going to go out here and just hand money over to people? Or the good neighbors? That don't happen. They're in a business. It is business. It's not personal. They're not saying we hate you, that we're going to harm you, we're mad at you. There's no personal thing to it at all. It's a computer. Balance sheet. Protect the money. Do what is necessary to protect the money. Now, it is, just like I talked the other day, it's a war. The money, the plaintiff's attorney, the attorneys that are trying to take on the insurance companies, are at war with the insurance companies to try to make them come forward and pay the money that they're legally required to pay.
So Gary, basically it's a war that the insurance company is saying, we want to pay out as little as we can and hopefully nothing. And here you are saying, I'm going to get as much as I can and hopefully all of it for my client.
If a person is hurt through no fault of their own, they ought to get every dime of insurance. Period. That's what insurance is for. Now that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen unless there is a fight and somebody literally makes the insurance company do it. The insurance company is not going to voluntarily pay that money. They will when they have to, but only when they have to. It's that simple. But it's not personal. You can't take it personal, because it's just business to the insurance company. They're not in the business of paying claims. They're in the business of collecting premiums. They don't make money paying claims. Their profits come from collecting premiums. Therefore, claims are the red herd, you know. They don't want to pay them. But when they have to, they have to. But only when they have to.
I was thinking of that caveman commercial, claims bad, premiums good.
Good, that's right. Claims bad, premium good.
That should have been the commercial. My friend, thank you. You know, what I love about it, he puts out all the information, and when I'm understanding it, you know he's done a good job. On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casable. We can't thank you enough for taking this time to watch Simply the Law. And as always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this very same time.
Thank you for watching Simply the Law, a program created by Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.